Good morning, students. Today we will discuss integral equations with separable kernels. Separable kernels are those kernels which can be written as the sum of finite number of terms in which each term is the product of function of s only and a function of t only. So we will discuss the method to solve a Fredholm integral equation of second kind by using algebraic method. So the topic is reduction to a system of algebraic equations. So in this topic we are given a Fredholm integral equation of second kind in which upper and lower limits of integration, those are constants. Here for our convenience we have omitted upper and lower limits in the notation. So the Fredholm integral equation is given by Gs is equal to Fs plus lambda integral kst gt dt. Here kst denotes the kernel of the integral equation. The function g is unknown function. The function f and the function k, these two functions are known here, and lambda is a parameter. Here the functions a1, a2, a3, an, these are linearly independent functions, and also the functions b1, b2, b3, bn, these are linearly independent functions. Now substituting the values of the kernel in the given integral equation. So the integral equation becomes gs is equal to fs plus lambda summation ais into bit into gt dt. Now from this equation we can take the terms with s outside of the integral, so that in the integral we are left with the terms in t only. So the integral equation can again be written as gs is equal to fs plus lambda summation ais into integral bit gt dt. Now we can use the notation ci for the integral in t. So we have denoted this integral by the symbol ci. So using this symbol here, the integral equation becomes gs is equal to fs plus lambda summation ci into ais. Now from here we will substitute the value of the function g on the left hand side of equation 2 as well as on the right hand side of equation 2. In the left hand side of equation 2 we already have gs. In the right hand side of equation 2 we have the function gt. So from here we will find the value of the function gt by replacing the variable s by t. So here replacing the variable s by t, we get gt is equal to ft plus lambda summation ck ak t. Summation is in the summation we have replaced the suffix I by k. Now substituting these two values in the equation second, we get the equation fs plus lambda summation ci into ais is equal to fs plus lambda integral summation ais into bit. Here we have substituted the value of function gt. Now from here we can see that fs on both sides of this equation, that is cancelled out. Now we collect the terms with ais in one side of this equation. So we get the equation summation ais into ci minus integral bit into ft plus lambda summation ck akt dt. This whole is equal to 0. Now we have already taken the functions ais are linearly independent functions. So by definition of linearly independent functions, if a linear combination is equal to 0, then the coefficients in that linear combination, those are 0. So the coefficients of the functions ais in this equation, that will be 0. So taking this coefficient is equal to 0, we get the equation ci minus integral bit into ft plus lambda summation ck into akt dt is equal to 0. Now let us take the integral bit ft dt. by the notation fi, and the integral bit akt dt, this we have denoted by the symbol aik. Now using these two symbols here in this equation, we get the equation ci minus lambda summation aik ck is equal to fi. Here I varies from 1 to n. So we have n equations in the unknowns c1, c2, c3 up to cn. This is a system of n algebraic equations in the unknowns c1, c2, c3 up to cn. Thus, we had taken the Fredholm integral equation of second kind and we have reduced that equation into a system of n algebraic equations in the unknowns c1, c2, c3 and cn. Now, let us find the determinant of this system. So find the determinant of this system, which we have denoted by the symbol d lambda here. So if we put I is equal to 1 here, we get the first equation. We put I is equal to 2 here, we get the second equation. And if we put I is equal to n here, we will get the nth equation. In all these equations, the coefficients of c1, c2, c3 up to cn, they forms the different rows of this determinant. So if we take I is equal to 1 in this equation and we take the coefficients of c1, c2, c3, cn from there, which are 1 minus lambda a11 minus lambda a12 and so on, the last coefficient is minus lambda a1n. If we take I is equal to 2 here, we get the coefficients of c1, c2, c3 up to cn, which are given by minus lambda a2n, 1 minus lambda a22, and the last coefficient is minus lambda a2n. If we take I is equal to n in this equation, we get the coefficients of c1, c2, c3 up to cn, which are given by minus lambda an1, minus lambda an2, and the coefficient of cn is 1 minus lambda ann. So this is the determinant of this algebraic system. Now if we expand this determinant, this is a polynomial in lambda and its degree is at most n. Now that algebraic system, that will have unique solution if this determinant is not equal to 0. In general, if the determinant of this system is 0, in that case we have two possibilities. Either there will be no solution or there will be infinite number of solutions, which we will discuss later in the Fredholm alternative theorem when the determinant of the system will be 0. But here till yet we will only consider this case when d lambda will be not equal to 0, and when d lambda will be not equal to 0, we will get the unique solution of this algebraic system, and correspondingly we will have a unique solution of the given Fredholm integral equations of second kind. So this was the first topic, how to reduce a given Fredholm integral equation of second kind into an algebraic system, and with the help of that system we can solve the given Fredholm integral equation of second kind.